wet. So the main characters are Seth, Take, Malik, and Lelia. Alright? So the book I'm thinking about right now, because it's always the one that comes back to me, is like further into the series, so, or at least the third or fourth book. It's when Lace, or Lelia, gets to Idlemere and finally meets her prince, or king, whatever Seth is going to be. So it starts off, obviously, Lace is unconscious through exhaustion and like dehydration and whatnot from trekking through the barren landscape of Idlemere, and so Take and Malik find her and they bring her back to the castle, whatever, the healers, and they get her help and whatnot. And then for the most part they kind of forget about her because, well, she's not really that important and they're best friends to the ruler of the country. Yeah. But then, I don't know, that bit's kind of blurry for now, so we're going to come back to all that, obviously. The bits I'm thinking about though is, okay, so Seth is a ruler, he's kind of evil, but at the same time he's just misunderstood and got all this pressure on him, like every ruler does. So he sneaks out of the castle in the middle of the night to try and have some fun, but Lace catches him, and like she's been working in the stables, and so he's seen her every now and then since she's recovered, but he's never really thought much about her because she's just a commoner and he's a ruler. But yeah, so she catches him, and instead of turning him in and whatnot and getting his guards, she actually offers to show him the city, how he's never seen it, all the underground and where the pirates hang out and the gambling goes on and everything. So she does that and takes him out for a really fun night and gets him back to his quarters or whatever by morning before everyone catches him. And so he's warmed up to her by the end of the night and realised that she can be actually fun and commoners aren't so bad. But, you know, he's not willing to let that on himself. But then the next day, Seth goes riding with Take and Malik, and he sees her in the stables when they're settling up their horses, and he actually invites her to come riding with them. And Take and Malik are like, what the hell, because this is just a comma, this is totally out of character and everything. But of course it's Seth's, like, he gets the final word because he's king or whatever. So they all go riding, and Take and Malik are always constantly watching Lace to see what she does and like why it's happening and everything. And for the most part she acts normally and like defers to the king and is respectful and everything, so nothing like she was that last night. But, and then Take and Malik start joking around and having races and things, and at some point I'm going to make it that Lace joins in on the race and shows them that her horse can actually run quite fast, and so she beats them and shows them that she can have some fun. And but that kind of increases the suspicions of at least one of them. I think maybe Take will be more suspicious, but Malik is more easygoing on this matter. But yeah, they still don't trust her around the king, and so they're always watching her and like over her shoulder and making sure she doesn't try anything, because she's just come out of nowhere and all of a sudden, yeah, this is happening. And so where they're headed when they're going for the ride is a village that's kind of local, and yeah, so they've got a flock, like the flocks of sheep there are being attacked by wild dogs, so they've requested help from the king, and so this is what they're doing. I don't know, there's not, well, the interactions between Seth and Lace on this ride are actually quite awkward, because while Lace was fully comfortable when it was like at night and they were both in Seth was in disguise, so not trying to be king and stuff, this is a completely different setting which is much more formal. So he is in full king mode and she doesn't really know how to interact with that, and vice versa, because he's like, well, she's still a commoner and last night didn't really change all that, you know. So it's going to have a lot of interaction and joking. Yep. I don't know. Like I said, this is like a full weight through the story and whatnot, like third book. So there's all this stuff that Lace has been through in the previous books, but this is the first book where Seth actually comes into it as a main figure and like character. So it's getting towards the ending, or at least, you know, the cool down of the series. But there's still a lot of interaction between the two of them that needs to go on. And I don't know, I mean, he's her Dark Prince. He's the reason I started this story, and he's the oldest character in my story, so I don't know. Tape and Malik, okay, physical appearances and stuff. Okay, so these two are like brothers, but they're not actually related. Now, it's kind of, you know, cliched or whatever, but Tafe is like some big, really muscled guy, tall, I don't know, maybe 6.5 foot towards 7 feet maybe, like really tall, built, well built, strong guy. And Malik on the other hand is like shorter, so it comes up maybe to about this height on take, so, and then thinner and just more reedy, but he's got a lot of like courage and like that quiet strength kind of thing that is unsuspected but calm. So it's like you've got the hot-headed one and the calm one, and you know, they're complete opposites, but they're like inseparable brothers kind of figures. And yeah, so that they have a lot of fun times. They're like the jesters of the story that keep it light-hearted, but yeah, they're good companions for Seth. So Seth obviously is pretty tall and kind of in between of say Take and Malik, so he's kind of like well built, muscled, and you know, my ideal guy. But yes, so he's dark. His personality though, he can be really arrogant and cruel, and he gets kind of obsessive and stuff, but he's supposed to be a bit evil, and I don't know. Some days though my brain switches in between a complete asshole evil character and he's supposed to stay that way, but then I think, well, he's got to be likable still because he's going to end up with my, you know, main girl. So I don't know. I think he can be, can you be evil and like lovable at the same time? I mean, I know a lot of people reading like the evil characters, but that's because they want to try and save them or whatever. The point is, if Seth is evil, he's not going to be saved. He's going to be evil throughout the whole thing. But then he's not supposed to be just a bad guy because he's also supposed to be a hero. So I've still got a lot to figure out with his personality. Maybe I'll make him like, you know, the whole misunderstood thing that can be saved. But then I also need some actual pure evil characters to balance it out. And I mean, I'm going to bring another couple of those into them in the previous stories, like when Lace first leaves Rafinick, there's an evil character who betrays her and that. And obviously with the Azulran tribe when she goes there. Yeah, well, there's going to be like lots of, you know, things to overcome and challenges and things. But I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of hard to get my head sorted around these things, especially since I've had the story since I was so little. I'm just trying to add to it and figure out what my brain has messed up to not run in well with the story. And I still have to look at the concept of magic in this, because it's not an easy one. Yeah, alright. That's it for this brainstorm. Adios, amigos.